Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Horror Snob. My name's Michael James. I am the Horror Snob, and I'm here with 3 more new movies we're going to preview today. So many good films have come out through the month of March so far. It has been jam-packed after what was a really quiet February. So excited, and so much more to get to. All 3 films going to be available next week on Friday the 26th, and all of them video on demand. They are not the only ones though. In fact, there is a 4th film of interest, The Arbors, which we already previewed as part of last week's selection of 3 films. If you missed out on that at all, you can check it out by hitting the link provided above. And while we're on the subject of movies I have previewed before, a quick shout out to Ian, who's been hitting me up on the regular in the comment section of an episode from about 2 weeks ago, when I previewed The Block Island Sound, Honeydew, and Come True. Dude has got great remarks about these films, success across the board. If you're unfamiliar with them, give yourselves a heads up. Take a moment and check out that episode of Terrifying Trailers. Link is provided above. I'll also have it at the end of today's episode. With that being said, we've got a lot of really good looking stuff to get to today. I want to get right into it, and we're going to start off at number 1 on the list with The Seventh Day. Of the 3 films on our list today, this is the singular one that's going to have the cast and crew you're likely going to recognize, with dudes like Guy Pearce, who you've seen in Ravenous and Memento, Keith David, whose career spans decades, going all the way back to the early years of John Carpenter when he was in The Thing and They Live, and Stephen Lang, who's maybe most notable for his work in movies like Gettysburg or Avatar, but for us as horror fans, you're going to recognize him from something more recent in Don't Breathe. A solid trio of guys on screen in a movie that looks action-packed, intense, and really dark. And that word dark is key, because the dude at the helm, the director for this thing, Justin Lang, that is the last movie he directed, his first full-length feature film, a movie called The Dark, which I ran down as a fresh fright going back about 6 months ago now. A really, really good film, an elite level flick as far as I'm concerned, and one that I have already posted up as part of a top 20 list more than once in just the last few months. If you have not checked that film out and you want to know more, link is provided above. It's an easy win and an easy watch, and if anything that he was able to pull together in The Dark is able to make its way into this film, we're in for a hell of a ride, with a movie that looks like it's equal parts Training Day and The Exorcist. The whole story on this, Guy Pearce portrays a pro-level exorcist who's bringing on a new partner, a young guy up and coming. That Training Day element. They begin working a new case, shit goes downhill quick, and that is when the fun begins for us. A really solid looking movie that's pulling elements of things from The Right, John Carpenter's Vampires, and even Paul Bettany's movie Legion. One I highly recommend. I think is going to be well worth your time. Available video on demand next week on Friday the 26th. This one should be an easy win for us. And number 2, a bit of an Uber ride gone wrong situation with The Toll. Now, having said that, let's not get it confused. What's wrong with this Uber ride isn't the driver, nor is it the passenger. This isn't Tom Cruise getting into Jamie Foxx's car in Collateral so he can ride around and murder people. No, this thing they're in together. A young lady, played by Jordan Hayes, who you'll know from Helix or House at the End of the Street, looks like she's just getting home from some sort of vacation or trip, picked up at the airport by her Uber driver, a long ride to head home. Somewhere along their path, they get stopped, and then what happens from there is really anybody's guess. Because this trailer by itself is giving me serious what the fuck did I just watch vibes. And if the trailer is able to pull that off, you can only imagine what the actual movie has in store for us. There are elements to this thing that go all the way across the spectrum. It looks like a legit horror movie variation of the typical fantasy story we're told as kids about trolls. Living under bridges, you've got to pay a toll before you move on. Except this troll is a beastly looking motherfucker with a cult level following. Some really creepy dudes that are giving me The Void vibes all the way across the board. And if The Void isn't your thing, how about Midsommar? How about Apostle? Any cult movie, or even Wrong Turn? So many different elements, so many different things into this movie. moshed together to give us something new, and I'm really eager about it. You can find it video on demand, available next week on Friday the 26th. Hey gang, before we finish up today's episode, just a quick reminder to check out the website horrorsnob.com. You can find a full archive of everything I've put out thus far, some truly awesome novelty items, and absolutely rare horror memorabilia authentically autographed by dudes like Sid Haig, John Carpenter, and Bela Lugosi. All available for you at horrorsnob.com. And now let's get back into it. And lastly, at number 3, it's Making Monsters. A movie that, budget-wise, from what we see in the trailer, reminds me a lot of what we had with the VHS movies. Now, the trilogy of those, of course, were all anthology films. A little bit different scenario here. This one seems to be a singular storyline, but still has that low-budget, found footage feel to it, much like VHS. Even if the quality is low, we have seen from success stories before, things like the Blair Witch Project, Paranormal Activity, that you don't need a dime to make a mill. You can make high-quality scares off of pennies. Making Monsters may never reach the kind of status level that things like Blair Witch Project or Paranormal Activity did, but if it even gets close to what we had in VHS, it's a massive success. An influencer, a bit of an entrepreneur, creates scares for a living, is about to get one for himself while out on vacation with his girlfriend. A nice setup with a decent plot, and what looks like some quality effects. Expect this to be the serious under-the-radar movie for you out of these 3, but still one very worthy of a watch. Again, video on demand next Friday on the 26th. Check it out. Alright, that's it for me today. As always, I invite you to take a moment, hit that subscribe button and the bell, stay up to date with all the reviews, rankings, previews, and trailers I pump out on a regular basis. And as for today's Horror Snob Hall of Fame Challenge, when it comes to the realm of exorcism movies, of course, The Exorcist is the granddaddy easy winner of them all. Given that there's not really going to be a whole lot of dispute about that, I want to go on to the number 2. Let's take The Exorcist off the board, and you tell me which exorcism-based movie in our world of horror also deserves recognition in a Horror Hall of Fame. Now, my vote is The Exorcism of Emily Rose. I challenge you to convince me otherwise. If you agree, simply give me a horror snob in the comment sections down below. And if you have a movie that you believe belongs there more than The Exorcism of Emily Rose, tell me which one and why. Remember, in order to participate for this week's prize, the Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho Vintage Tin Poster, and for our grand prize, I have a free 1-year subscription to Shudder. You need to be a follower of ours on either Facebook or Instagram, and a subscriber of ours on YouTube. For more information, you can check out the full rules on our Facebook page. It is pinned to the top, easy to find. As always, my name is Michael James. I am the Horror Snob. I thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.